faceoff comes back in the one zone. Langley looking for Miller, who didn't break off the boards, and the puck just went all the way down the ice. All these players out of the Washington lineup. Ben Gustafsson still in Sweden attending the funeral of his nose for Washington. And for Philadelphia, Al Secord is a surprise to me in the scratch department there. Al, how about you?
I'm a little surprised, too, because of his experience and the toughness he brings on the wing. But I think also the Flyers looking maybe for a little more speed. Secord certainly probably slowed down a step from his key days with Boston Bruins and Chicago and with Toronto as well. But I would say when the playoffs move up to the Spectrum in Philadelphia, look for Secord then.
Now, how about this matchup? The line that's out there now has Eklund centering Tocchet and Berube on the ice for the Flyers, and Neil Sheehy is lined right up next to Berube.
Well, I find that as interesting as I see Kartner and Chychrun. So you've got four very tough Philadelphia Flyers out there. Let's see. I mean, you've got a guy in Berube who really has not done much in terms of offensive production, a goal and an assist, but 199 minutes in penalties. So you know the toughness factors there, and let's see. Can he get something going early? Can he shake somebody up? Can he put a message into a guy like Kelly Miller or Pavlenka on the wing with his toughness?
Eklund gets the draw, but now Langley takes it away, and he starts to center ice and sends it all the way down. Hextall plays the puck. Ridley pokes it back into the corner, and here's Kartner to try and steal, but Mike Ridley works on him, brings it back to the point, and gets away from Sheehy all the way into the Washington zone. Langley to the corner, and Tocchet runs him hard to the corner board. Eklund is there. Tocchet plays it off the sideboard and out to center ice. And Mark Howe throws it back to the Washington line. Mike Ridley loses control of it. Berube bumps with Sheehy. Here is Pete Peters to loft it high in the air out to center ice, and it bounces back to the Flyer line. The Capitals have dumped the puck 3 times to the Flyer zone. Here comes Mark Howe. He sends it into Washington ice. Courtnall back after. Ron Sutter digs it out. Courtnall takes it away. Tries to get away from Tim Kerr and sends it up the right wing boards to the point. Mark Howe keeps it in and just misses Kerr, camped in front of the net. Now Courtnall ahead for Bobby Gould. Throws it back to the Philadelphia zone. Howe makes the play and brings it out on the left wing side to Murray Craven. Craven's pass intercepted by Dale Hunter, and Gould skates ahead on the right wing. Both teams changing up the lines, and Hatcher has it now back out at center ice. Over to Scott Stevens, to Bob Gould. Stevens to Hatcher in the Washington zone. Ron Sutter into forecheck. Jay Wells slaps it off the boards, and now Craven dumps it back inside the Washington zone. Flyers complete their line change. Hatcher up to center. Dumps it into the Philadelphia end. Hextall makes the catch. Played back to the point. Now Hatcher a drive, and it's knocked down in front of the goal. Here comes Derek Smith to start out. Leads it over on the right wing for Mellanby. He throws it back into the Washington zone, and Wells to the corner. Puts it behind the net. Hunter's there. Throws a hit, but misses. Mellanby centers. Here's a shot blocked by Scott Stevens. Mellanby turns and fires, but it's wide of the Washington goal. Now Courtnall takes the man. That leaves the puck for Scott Stevens, and he starts out of his own end. Stevens off the skates of Hunter to center ice. Cap changing on the fly. Kartner into the Washington zone. Passes on the right wing. Walks in with a backhander just wide, and Derek Smith can't get the rebound. Both teams are carrying the sticks up high. Here's the hit at center ice, and Kartner plows right into Courtnall. And Courtnall goes back to the Washington bench. Now Dave Poulin for Philadelphia. Throws it end over end back into the Washington zone, and Johansson is back to take it. No icing. Calle Johansson starts out for Washington. No score. 17 minutes to play here in the first period. Steve leaps to the right wing board. Over to Wickenheiser. That's taken away, and now Acton starts back with a lead pass to Prop. Prop inside the Washington zone. Wrist shot wide. Chase to the corner. Plays to Leach out on the right wing. Out to Wickenheiser. He's hit at center by Tocchet. Mark Howe starts back for Philadelphia. Over on the right wing to Acton. Acton centers, and Wickenheiser steals and keeps it away from Prop, who was ready for that pass. Stephen Leach bumps it back to the Flyer line. Now here's Prop from Samuelson. He drops it off, and Rouse takes over. Bob Rouse to center ice. Back to Samuelson. Kel Samuelson in the game tonight with a broken toe. Over on the right wing. Here's a shot by Ron Sutter. Rouse clears to Cifarelli. Played to the blue line. Now Tim Kerr keeps it in Washington ice. To Eklund. To Kerr. Taken away by Ridley. Langley scrambles with Ron Sutter. Now Ridley has it swept free. Into the corner goes Bob Rouse to get it. 15 minutes and 47 seconds left to go here in this scoreless first period. Dave Christian strides to center. Looks for Cicerelli. He's offside. And the whistle blows now to stop play with 15:39 left in the first. And right away the pushing and shoving starts along the sideboards as Sheehy is in there trying to get involved and is met very quickly by Gord Murphy of the Flyers. There's a break in the action with the score. Capitals nothing, Flyers nothing.
This year, if you really want to get money back, listen to Henry Block.
Go to Subaru.
Up to $1,500 cash back or 4.9 APR financing. Of all the Subarus registered since 1978, 92% are still on the road, which could mean this four-wheel drive Subaru will still be good on a hill when other cars are over it.
The sellout crowd still settling in here at the Capitol Center. No score between Caps and the Flyers in Game 1 of the Patriot Division semifinal series. 15:39 left, and you talk about everybody willing to bump. Kelly Eklund, the least likely source, who was ready to lay the shot in there a little bit after the whistle on Dino Cicerelli that got that first little minor altercation started. And now the stick's up high between Hunter and Chychrun in front, and Koharski, watching it all the way, doesn't make the call.
Dale Hunter was taunting Chychrun by waving his stick right in his face, and Chychrun was swatting back at Hunter's stick to try and knock it down. It's been very evident here in the early going of this game that the sticks are up high. Scott Stevens plays it off the corner board. Gets it ahead to Kevin Hatcher. Now back to Stevens. Long lead pass goes all the way back inside the Flyers zone, and here is Chychrun back after it. Now we've got an interference penalty coming. Cicerelli is held up right in front of the Flyer net, and headed to the box for Philadelphia is Terry Kartner. Interference the call at 5:03 of the first period.
Remember, if you have a Most, cash flow, or money exchange ATM card, you can get quick cash and account balance information at the cashier machine in any Giant food store. Kartner the call for interference. Cicerelli trying to drive to the corner for that loose puck in the dump in, and Kartner bumps him and takes Cicerelli off his skates. And we talk about watching the Flyers and in terms of aggressive penalties. Well, here's a situation. It's an interference call, but I think this is going to be important to both teams. Both teams love to dump and chase, so the defenses on both sides and the forwards as well are going to have to restrain those forecheckers. And here, Don Koharski says Kartner takes too much of Cicerelli. Looks like he got enough of him to slow him down. Dino goes off his skates. I think buys that call from Don Koharski.
Flyers ranked 5th in the league in penalty killing. The Capitals 6th on the power play. 22% for Washington, 82% for the Flyers. Danielson back to the point. Kept in by Scott Stevens. He tries to feed to Mike Ridley. Ridley tripped up. There's going to be another penalty call coming. A delayed call. It's against Washington. Out of the net goes Hextall. The Flyers throw out a 6th attacker. The Capitals power play will expire here. Or will be nullified, I should say, as soon as Philadelphia gets a Washington player in the box. Meanwhile, the Flyers trying to kill off as much time as possible, playing back in their own end. Trying to work down some time on Kartner's penalty, and a very smart move by Philadelphia. Cicerelli goes into forecheck more aggressively. Of course, if the Capitals get in too tight, the Flyers might take advantage and break, but finally Chris Felix does touch the puck. And a minor penalty is called for hooking at 5:48 of the first period. There's a break in the action. This game is scoreless.
All-Star Chevrolet is having a Your Choice sale, where with just $500 down cash or trade, you can drive an '89 S10 pickup for just $132 a month, an '89 Beretta for just $190 a month, or an '89 Cavalier for just $137 a month. All-Star Chevrolet, where we beat buying service and credit union prices. Fact is, if you can find it cheaper, buy it. All-Star Chevrolet. Tell them Brooks sent you.
It's Kelly Miller in the box for hooking at 5:48. Now, this penalty is very similar to the one that Kartner got. Watch in front of Ron Hextall. There is Mark Howe. See how Kelly Miller tries to slow Howe up, get him out, so Mike Ridley can get a better whack at the loose puck. And Don Koharski right down there makes that hooking call. So far, Koharski trying to establish restraining fouls will be called tightly. He let the high sticks get up, showing the teams are going to be allowed to play aggressively, apparently. But if you keep restraining to an unfair advantage, that's where Koharski seems to be making the early call.
Philadelphia will wind up with 45 seconds of power play time once Kartner comes out of the penalty box. That'll be in 1 minute and 15 seconds from now. Here's Michael Pavanka. Chased by Action to the sideboard. Throws it back. And Calle Johansson takes it for Washington. The pass gets away from Christian and goes all the way back to the flyer line for Jay Wells. Now Tocchet, right wing side for Action. Action across the blue line. At the point, Tocchet walks in. Couldn't get the shot underway. Here's a backhander that Danielson throws wide of the net. Now back to the goal, chased by Kevin Hatcher. Hooked by Tocchet. Hatcher into the corner. Tries to give it Christian. Now it's stolen. Action throws it right across the goal mouth, and Pavanka plays it to the corner. Calle Johansson back to get it. 4-on-4 hockey right now. Here comes Johansson to center ice. In across the blue line. Drop pass for Pavanka. And offside is called. 28 seconds left in the Kartner penalty. 1:13 left in the call to Kelly Miller.
Mike, it looks like right now the Capitals seem to be the team that may be just playing a little tighter than the Flyers. This is the first time I can ever remember the Flyers really coming into a series recently where they have been not only the underdogs, but the decided underdogs. And I think the Capitals, knowing that the pressure's on them because of their successful finish at the conclusion, division champions, Flyers coming in a little more relaxed, gambling a little more, opening things up a little more, and certainly seeming to throw more of the body checks, and the Capital passes right now, not real crisp, not real sharp, having trouble getting started up ice because the passes are behind the play just a little bit. Still have 28 seconds left to go in the Kartner call, 1:13 in the Miller penalty, still 4-on-4 hockey.
Philadelphia finishing with 80 points, 4th place in the Patrick division. The Capitals first in the division at 92 points. Washington, incidentally, 3rd overall in the entire league, behind Montreal and Calgary. Scott Stevens works it loose, and it's picked up now by Chychrun. And right away the linesmen get in there as they keep Scott Stevens and Ron Sutter apart.
I think Koharski's going to make penalty calls on both of them, get them off the box for roughing.
Now, we've seen the rough stuff a couple of games this year. It has been a tame series overall between the two teams. Why the high sticks all of a sudden here in the first game of the first period of the first game of the playoffs?
Well, you know, I think you can maybe trace it simply back to the last game the Capitals and Flyers played at the Spectrum in Philadelphia, where the early penalties were roughing calls, very aggressive penalty calls, and the majority of them went to Philadelphia. But the Capitals failed to burn the Flyers on the power play. I think Philadelphia feels that with some players in particular, and I guess one guy that they're going to be looking at, possibly a guy like Jeff Portnoy, if you hit him, if you rough him up, you can maybe get him thinking about other things. And I would think, again, with the Flyers decided underdogs in this series, why not try and establish that? Hey, if you get burned on the power play, if the Capitals come back and nail you a couple times, you still have got 6 games at least to change your strategy. If it works for you, if you steal a victory in game 1, that can turn the entire series around. So why not take a chance?
Mark Howe back in his own end. Leaves it for Eklund. Eklund works to center ice, gets across the blue line. Sheehy's in there to steal, and he starts back. Puts it all the way down the ice. Flyers on the power play now. Miller's still got 30 seconds left in the box. Out to center ice. Kerr tied up at the line by Sheehy. Klopp comes in to throw a hit. Digs the puck free from Wickenheiser. Tim Kerr back to Mark Howe. Right side pass for Gord Murphy. Throws it into the Washington zone. Here's Sheehy on the right wing to clear it to the point, but not out. Kept in by Howe. It goes to the corner, and Kerr is right on it. Off the boards to the point. Thrown back into Eklund. He finds Howe open. A wrist shot and a save. Rebound shot and a goal. Propp picking up the rebound after Pete Peters stops the drive from Mark Howe. And Philadelphia utilizes the power play to take a 1-0 lead.
all over the Capitals, and here's what Mark Howe does to Philadelphia. Why is he important? Not only psychologically, but on the ice. Look at the way he's able to sneak in behind the play. All the activity is over to one side of the ice, so Howe comes in just there to the top of the hash marks and makes that shot, gets it over there to where Propp is able to knock it in. Excellent play out of the corner, though, but you see where Howe is, and nobody from the Capitals is on him. The Capitals are running around a bit. Howe is able to sneak in there, and the Philadelphia Flyers jump on top of that first goal. A power play tally. We talk about how specialty teams will be the key.
Howe and Eklund get the assists at 7:49 of the first period. Propp on the power play. Propp during the regular season had 32 goals. Here's Craven, a wrist shot. Peters tries to reach it, but Mellenby knocks it down with his stick, looking for a deflection. Now Wickenheiser checks in the corner. Johansson jams up with Derek Smith. Puck turned up the right wing board. Steve Leach drops it back, and here's Wickenheiser to the point. Now Poulin walks over. Mellenby a drive. That's blocked by Johansson, and he clears it all the way down, back into the Flyer zone. Philadelphia 1, Washington nothing. 11:15 to go here in the first period of this game. Rod Langway back into his own end. Loses it to Propp. He shoots just wide. Taken over now by Hatcher. Throws it behind the goal. Rod Langway passes to Hatcher. Hatcher up the boards out to center ice. Samuelson tries to work back to the red line and now gives to Propp. He throws it on into the Washington zone. Steve Peters plays it up the right wing board. Now Kevin Hatcher. Off to the line, and Samuelson for Philadelphia. Head to Acton. Drop pass at the point. Pocket a shot. Blocked by Langway. Dale Hunter grabs the puck. He starts to center. Gets across the blue line. We have a penalty call coming up. A delayed call against Philadelphia. Dino Ciccarelli is down to his knees.
And this could be a 5-minute major for spearing in a game misconduct, possibly to Rick Tocchet. Tocchet with Ciccarelli. Ciccarelli trying to slow Tocchet up with the stick, and Tocchet turned around and pitchforked Dino Ciccarelli right in the stomach. Well, it looks like it's just going to get him into the penalty box. Maybe for two, but I tell you.
That might just be the holding. Once things settle down, they still might send him out. And they've shut the door. Looks like it just may be a 2-minute penalty. Here comes the call.
Oh, it definitely was a spear. I don't know if Don Koharski saw the entire thing, because he waited a moment, but there's no question he got speared in the midsection by Rick Tocchet, and apparently Tocchet is going to be allowed to stay in the game. Let's go downstairs with Jeff Rimmer.
One score so far on this first night of the National Hockey League playoffs. The Buffalo Sabres ahead of the Boston Bruins by a score of 1-0. We're back right here for Game 2 tomorrow night. Let's go back upstairs.
Brian Murray furious that it is only a 2-minute minor for slashing to Rick Tocchet.
9:32 of the first period, the time of the call. And Tocchet goes off the ice, setting up Washington once more on the power play. Their last opportunity lasted but 45 seconds before the call came to Kelly Miller. Only 5 seconds of that last opportunity spent in the offensive zone. So Caps will try to improve on that with Felix at the point with Scott Stevens, Miller up front, Ridley and Christian. Washington has yet to record a shot on goal in this game, and we've played 9:32 so far. Philadelphia has 3 shots on goal, but no score.
Well, here's a chance for the Capitals to turn things around, not only on the scoreboard, but in the way the game is going. Philadelphia has definitely outplayed Washington as the Capitals continue to look tight. But a power play goal here, particularly on an aggressive foul, a slashing call to Tocchet, could change the strategy a bit.
That's been the Capitals' game plan. They want to take advantage of the Flyers in that way. Here's Stevens back to center ice. Now Christian tosses it ahead to Kelly Miller. Off the boards and outside the zone. Offside finally called against the Caps. In the aftermath of the sticking incident with Pocket being called for slashing, Keith Acton challenged at least 2 different Capitals trying to get something going. I saw him attempting to give Kevin Hatcher a rough time, and then later on he went after Dale Hunter. And the linesmen were right there to watch him. They must be especially conscious of Acton's movements because they were right with him.
But again, why not? Why not give it a try? Why not see what happens? See how the Capitals respond to this sort of play. If they don't burn you on the power play and they start to think twice about you when you're coming at them, you could have discovered the perfect strategy.
Here's Stevens passing to Ridley. A bouncing puck shot just wide. Ridley behind the net. Runs into his teammate, Kelly Miller. Now passes the puck to him. And here's Miller with the puck. Skates it back to the point to Chris Felix. Left side over to Scott Stevens. Takes the shot. Back to Felix. The slap shot. Knocked down. And here is Christian. His shot blocked. Ridley's drive goes up the arm of Hextall and into the seats.
Still 1:09 left to go in the power play. The Capitals have yet to record an official shot on goal. Pretty nice overall playoff record, but one thing to consider, and it's certainly first and foremost in the minds of the Capitals, last year Hextall was only 2-4 against Washington with a 4.75 goals against average. One of the areas they were able to exploit Ron Hextall last year was between his legs, feeling that Hextall was crouching out, giving him even more room than normal to shoot between the legs, and we'll see if that is an area that the Capitals try and shoot at this year.
Dale Hunter to work the draw against Ron Sutter. Brings it back to Hatcher at the point. Now over to Johansson. Back to Kevin Hatcher. Calle Johansson. Rink-wide pass. Bounces away from Kortnall. The puck cleared up the boards, and Sutter can't clear it. Well, a penalty call. Charging. This is going to be against Dale Hunter for running Ron Sutter. And that will wipe out the power play for Washington. There's a break in the action with a score. The Flyers 1 and the Capitals nothing.
After all those meetings in Minneapolis and conventions in Kansas City, we think you could use a little change of pace. And after 40,000 miles in TWA's frequent flyer program, that's just what you get. Today's TWA. Find out how good we really are. Because sometimes the shortest distance between 2 points is not a line, TWA created the Advanced Boarding Pass. Today's TWA. Find out how good we really are.
Dale Hunter in the box for charging at 10:38. Now watch him. More than a couple strides in there on Ron Sutter. Also probably could have got him for a boarding call if charging wasn't the call.
Even strength for 54 seconds. Then when Tocchet comes out, 1:06 on the power play for Philadelphia. They used the opportunity last time to score the game's first goal. Here's Hatcher. Lost the pass ahead for Dave Christian on the right wing board. He's up the center, inside the Flyers zone. Christian beats his way in, loses control of the puck, gets it back. Can't backhand a shot on net. Hatcher tripped up by Keith Acton. Here comes Acton spinning out of the end. Brings it ahead to center ice. He's hit by Cicerelli. Mellenby taken away, and Hatcher has the puck back in his own zone. In 15 seconds, the penalty will expire to Rick Tocchet. Mellenby back to center ice. Works the puck to center. At the blue line. Can't get it away from Scott Stevens. Jay Wells a drive. A pad save by Peters. The rebound. Loose to the side of the net. Penalty's over. Flyers have the power play. A shot. Blocked wide. Penalty call coming up against Washington. And here's the whistle. Kevin Hatcher is going to be called of a penalty while Scott Stevens gets started in front with Mellenby. And the Capitals will be down 2 skaters here as the Flyers will enjoy a nice power play advantage with both Hunter off the ice as well as Kevin Hatcher, who is heading to the box for high sticking. Time of Hatcher's penalty, 11:43 in the first period.
And the Caps in danger of burying themselves in a deep hole here. Kevin Hatcher there, you see, as he's trying to get Mellenby out, gets that stick up across the helmet in the face area. The stick has got to stay down, even though the sticks have been high all night. Koharski making the call here on Kevin Hatcher, and a dangerous spot in this hockey game right now.
The draw to the left of Pete Peters. The Caps have 3 skaters out there, Langway with Sheehy and Miller. All 5 Flyers are present. Props with Eklund and Kerr.
And Mike, here is yet another area where the Capitals gravely miss Bengt Gustafsson. He, no doubt, will be the man out there to take this face-off and work as a lone penalty-killing forward.
Miller tries to move it, gets it back to the point. It's kept in. Gord Murphy. Here's a shot and another score. The Flyers pull ahead by a count of 2-0. It will wipe out 1 penalty, and Philadelphia will still be on the power play.
Here's one of the things the Flyers are doing. They're moving Tim Kerr to different spots. Normally you used to figure him setting up on the right arm of that goaltender, and here's a shot it looks like Pete Peters could have stopped. It's a low, hard shot, but it looked like Pete had time to set himself, and he just doesn't look like he's really in balance there. You see how he's falling off? Not really completely set, and not really towards the top of that crease where he generally sets himself up on. Now, one of the best wrist shots in the game belongs to that man, Tim Kerr. And the Capitals down 2-0 on 2 power play goals as the Flyers have dominated, and the Capitals have been burnt by taking penalties against Philadelphia.
The Hunter penalty is over because of the power play goal. There's still 1:33 left to go on the Hatcher penalty. Flyers still with a man advantage, and they lead 2-0 on power play goals. Top to the point for Kerr. He's hit by Wickenheiser. Taken away by Gord Murphy. Murphy throws it into the corner. Langway tries to work it free. Back to Tim Kerr, now to Prop. Murphy to Prop, back to Gord Murphy. Now Brian Prop along the left wing. Hooked by Wickenheiser to the side of the net for Kerr. Brings it back out to Howe, a wrist shot. Up high off the glass. Prop to the corner. In behind the goal to Kerr. He checked on the play. Prop had an opportunity on the left wing, but the bouncing puck rolled off his stick. Here's Murphy to Prop. Langway has something going with Kerr right in front of the net. There's a penalty call coming. And let's see which one's going to get it.
Well, it should be Kerr. He got his stick right under the chin of Rod Langway. This is no different than what Hatcher did earlier to Mellenby. What a great battle going on between 2 of the strongest guys in the National Hockey League. And this time Tim Kerr gets the stick up on Langway. He takes the Flyers off the remaining 40 seconds of the Hatcher call. Watch these 2 strong men battle. That's the tail end of it. Boy, they were going even better than that. About 10 seconds of solid banging, bumping. Langway doing a great job of getting the stick up on Kerr. Now watch it. She gives him 1 pop. Now look at Langway. A hit. Watch him get the stick up of Kerr. Lifts it up in the air. Now Kerr will come up and watch the stick of Kerr under the chin of Rod Langway right there.
Very alert call by Don Koharski. Normally, you'll only see the defenseman take a penalty in that circumstance, but here it is given to the forward, Tim Kerr, for high sticking. And the time of the penalty, 13 minutes and 3 seconds. Still 40 seconds left on Hatcher's penalty call. And then the Caps will have a power play for 1 minute and 20 seconds. Although I'm probably speaking too soon on that. The way these penalties have been dished out here in the first period, it'll no doubt be interrupted by another call. Face-off in neutral ice. Keith Ackman out there to work against Mike Ridley. Flyers lead 2-0. Back to Scott Stevens, over to Bob Rouse. Rouse up the right wing boards for Wrigley out of center ice. Here comes Ridley across the blue line. Ridley drop pass for Pavanka. Tries to go back to Ridley. It floats into the corner. Now Rouse on the right wing. Back to Ridley. Knocked over the stick of Pavonka. And Tocchet starts back. Tocchet to the blue line. Stolen by Pavonka. Michael Pavonka comes back for Washington. Inside the line. Drop pass. There's another penalty call coming up. A delayed call against Philadelphia. And now as Akron takes possession, 2 minutes for slashing. Here's the call coming at 13:47 of the first period. The penalty is over to Kevin Hatcher. Washington now goes on a 2-man advantage.
And it's imperative the Capitals get one here in this 2-man situation. Only one shot on goal to this point in the game for the Capitals. They've got the golden opportunity, and it looks like Ron Hextall is a little shaken up in the net. While we got a chance, let's check in with Jeff Rimmer.
Thanks, Al. 2 games underway in the National Hockey League. We have 2 scores for you. Montreal at the Forum ahead of the Hartford Whalers in the first period by a score of 1-0. And the team that scores first in the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Buffalo Sabres, they lead the Boston Bruins by 1. Don't forget, tomorrow night, a doubleheader for you on HTS. Here on Home Team Sports, your regular cable channel, you'll see the Orioles play the Boston Red Sox, hopefully in the concluding game of their series. And switch around the dial, you'll find us with Game 2 in the Stanley Cup playoffs between Philadelphia and Washington. Let's go back upstairs to Mike and Al.
All right, Jeff, Ron Hextall is back up on his feet. It looked like they were working down on his skates, and to me, that doesn't signify injury. The one thing to keep in mind, Hextall missed some games in the latter part of the season because of a hamstring pull. The way he was crouched down on the ice, I don't know if that was something that was giving him a bit of a bother or not. He's kind of testing, but it still looks like they were working on a skate and not really anything part of the body. So keep a close eye on if it affects his movement and his performance. Caps have a great way to test him out with a 5-on-3 for the next 1 minute and 16 seconds. And the face-off, this critical draw in Flyer ice. Dave Poulin will be out there to take it. Samuelson and Howe.
I think Hextall's pad might be coming loose off of his skate. They had Sudsy Settlemeyer out there, the trainer, and then Kurt Munt, the equipment manager, came out, and now the Flyers are going to use their timeout. And let's see if he's working on the edge of the skate, or is he working on some kind of a strap down there that might have come a little bit loose. I think he's just edging it.
Just edging it, yeah. You know, the Capitol Center crew has been working on the ice now for the past 2 days. They called in Doug Moore of Jet Ice. Doug Moore, who used to be the head building maintenance man at Maple Leaf Gardens, was responsible for the great ice up there, is now with Jet Ice. The ice surface has been here at the Capitol Center since 84, 85, and they've been trying to work on it. They also have a new ice resurfacing machine. The old Zamboni that's 15 years old is still probably going to be used between periods of this game simply because it's got advertising on it. But they've got one of the new Olympia machines that seems to put down a much smoother surface. Now, the Capitals look like they've had a little trouble already this evening in trying to get the puck up along the boards and out of their skates. The ice seemed to be in pretty good shape, and it seems to be an improvement over some of the way the ice conditions here are generally. But we'll see.
Hunter works the draw, and Poulin wins it right to Hextall, who sends it all the way down the ice. Here's Kevin Hatcher. 2-man advantage for Washington. 5-on-3 on the power play. Hatcher throws it into the corner. Takes it behind the net. Plays it up the boards to Scott Stevens back at the point. Here's Stevens. Feeds it over to Kevin Hatcher. Crisscrossing with Ciccarelli. Hatcher back to Stevens. Back to Kevin Hatcher. Winds up a slap shot wide. Courtnall chases it to the backboard. Now back to Kevin Hatcher. He winds. Fakes over to Stevens. A shot and a save by Hextall. And Hunter pushed out of there by Poulin as Hextall tries to cover up.
The Flyers pretty much giving the Capitals that shot from up at the top of the face-off circle. Scott Stevens is trying to get this thing over. You see, he's not really shooting it on net. Dale Hunter deflects it, but Stevens was trying to get that over to Courtnall for that rapid on the other side of the net. This is another area where Ben Gustafson is so good at using these 5-on-3s. Used to be Gustafson and Christian would set up on either side of the goalpost, and they would try and work a little play back and forth between the two of them. But now the Capitals look like they're going to try and go cross ice, go diagonally to set up
somebody on the side, either Cicerelli or Courtnall for the one-timer.
29 seconds left in the first penalty. Here's a shot in front. Hextall pounces on it quickly.
But these aren't dangerous shots. They're just little deflections that aren't doing any damage, and Hextall smartly making sure he covers up. 25 seconds left in the Kerr call. 1:09 left in the call to Keith Acton. And here again, you see just that little change of direction. These are not real hard shots from the point, so if you do get the deflection, they're not going to have much steam on it, and easily caught up to by Ron Hextall.
Hunter ready to work against Ron Sutter. Brings the draw back to Scott Stevens. Over to Cicerelli. Back to Stevens. Right side for Felix. Fakes the shot to Courtnall in front. A shot and a goal! Jeff Courtnall pinballs it off the pads of Hextall. And the Capitals are on the board on the power play at 2-1.
Impossible to measure just how huge this goal is. Look at Chris Felix. He makes the fake. Now Hextall is ready for it. It goes right in between the pads. And boy, does that have to have Ron Hextall thinking to himself now. The first semi-quality chance. Not even a real quality chance. Just a semi-quality chance. And it beats him right between the pads. An area the Capitals exploited last year. And Hextall's got to be thinking about it now. And the Capitals still have 58 seconds left to go on the call to Keith Acton. A chance to tie this game up.
Courtnall from Felix and Stevens at 14:49. Here's Scott to the point, a blast, and Peters blocks that. It rides up on top of the netting and rests there. And play is stopped with 4:59 to go in the period and 46 seconds left in the Acton penalty, which keeps Washington on the power play. Seven Philadelphia shots against Pete Peters. 2 goals have been scored, one by Prop, one by Kerr, both on the power play for the Flyers. And now Washington's Jeff Courtnall with a power play goal. Courtnall scoring 42 times during the regular season. And picks up his first here in the playoffs. Scott Stevens to center ice, left wing side, in across the line. Dave Christian to the corner, passes it back behind the net. Now over to Ridley. Hatcher and Ridley trade passes into the corner. Back to Ridley. Ridley with Miller. Out to Hatcher, a one-timer, kicked out of there by Hextall, and it all the way out of the zone it comes. Right side for Kevin Hatcher with 10 seconds left in the penalty call. Here's Hatcher into the corner, hooked by Howe. Throws it behind the net. Up the boards, it never makes it to Stevens. Prop steals and works it out to center ice. Ridley ahead for Miller. Taken away by Samuelson. The Flyer penalty is over. Philadelphia's action is out of the box. The Flyers are at full strength. Kelly Miller drives it on into the Philadelphia zone. Now Ridley back together. Ties up on the play. After the center ice. Left wing side for Prop. Into the Washington zone. Taken out there by Dave Christian, who works it ahead for Kelly Miller. Right side pass for Christian. Christian dumps it back into the Flyer end. On the Philadelphia attack. Gord Murphy to Acton. Right side for Crockett, but the play is offside.
3:29 left to go in this period. It's up to the Capitals now to get a little momentum. Whether they get the equalizer or not, make sure they start putting some pressure on Ron Hextall. Make sure it's them on the attack and not Philadelphia. If Philadelphia is able to bounce back and get that momentum back quickly, it could make it for a continued long evening for the Capitals. Isn't this the guy from Quebec? Isn't this the guy from Quebec who's also got the trumpet, running around smashing himself into the glass? If I'm not mistaken. 2 years in a row, of course, he's had to go elsewhere for this playoff set.
They had a mock Stanley kept parade in Quebec City the other day.
With the operative word mock.
Leach to Wickenheiser. Back to Steve Leach. Pushed to the ice from behind by Chikrin. Francis back to play it. Over to Steve Leach. Throws it behind the net. And Wickenheiser is there after. Slap shot by Wickenheiser blocked, and the puck played out to center ice. Rod Langway's back together. Both teams are full strength. Leach a wrist shot. Hextall blocks that to the corner. Francis throws it behind the net. Leach throws a hit. Chikrin and Francis swing sticks, and Chikrin had the high one. He'll be whistled to the box.
The Capitals scored on a 5-on-3 when it was a high sticking call and a slashing call. Now another high sticking call. A goal here, and we'll see. Will it change tactics? The Flyers, again, have basically outplayed Washington, but have given the Capitals another opportunity to make this a dead-even hockey game and throw all that good early work of theirs out the window.
17-13, the time of the high sticking penalty to Chikrin. Washington once again with a man advantage.
Hunter, Cicerelli, Courtnall, the forward line, along with Johansson and Hatcher back at the points. To kill this penalty off for the Philadelphia Flyers, it's Sutter, Poulin, Samuelson, and Howe. And once again, the Capitals were able to start this power play with a face-off in Philadelphia's ice.
Courtnall back to Kevin Hatcher. Callie Johansson tries to center it, but Ron Sutter takes it away and clears to the point. Hatcher over to Courtnall. Goes link wide and couldn't make it past two Flyers. Ron Sutter whips it back to the Washington zone. 1 minute and a half remaining in the penalty call to Chikrin. 2:15 to play in the first period. Hunter centers it right in front of shot, and a save by Hextall on the doorstep. And the whistle did blow, although the puck was cleared back to the point. I'm not sure the players heard it.
And Dino Cicerelli a bit upset with himself. Here's his first playoff scoring chance as a Capital. It's the setup that he loves, and I don't think he gets full wood on it. He fans on it just a moment and then tries to get that second shot onto the goal. He had Hextall beaten if he could have gotten it away just a little cleaner and a little quicker. And he's talking to himself, I'll tell you. If he continues to get chances like that, though, I'll bet you anything he's not going to be muttering to himself. He's going to be hearing some congratulations from his teammates. The Capitals can continue to work him in that spot. He's going to get it eventually.
Here's Samuelson with it behind the net. Starts out, clears it all the way down the ice. 1:14 to go in the Chikrin penalty. Flyers lead 2-1. Shots are even right now, 7 aside. Courtnall in across the line. Lands on the brakes in the corner. Samuelson takes him out of there. Now Hunter throws a hit. Stevens a shot. Looking for Cicerelli. It's deflected wide. Back into the corner for Dino Cicerelli. Out to Scott Stevens. To Hunter. Tried to find Courtnall, and it's intercepted once more. The Flyers are cutting off a lot of the Washington passes in that slot area. Here's Scott Stevens. 38 seconds to go in the Washington power play. Stevens drives it on into the Flyers zone. Puck cleared off the boards. Chris Felix keeps it in. Now cleared back out to center ice. Stevens to Felix. Back to Scott Stevens. Right wing pass. Jeff Courtnall in across the blue line. We're in the final minute of play in the period. Here's Ridley along the sideboards. Back to Courtnall. He throws it past Langway. And the Capitals' passing game has left something to be desired here in the first period. Felix to start back. I don't know if they're just too wired up.
Trying to make the perfect play.
They're throwing the passes all over. And they're not anticipating, and sometimes over-anticipating, where their teammates might be. Boy, they're sure in a lot better shape, though, going to the dressing room with that Courtnall goal, aren't they?
It makes all the difference in the world. You know, you can look at and say the Flyers really came out, took it to us, and dominated the period. And yet we're only down by 1, and still with plenty of opportunities. We have yet to get a real golden scoring chance on Ron Hextall. So in that regard, the Capitals can be pleased with that. However, I still think it's got to be a great advantage for Philadelphia psychologically. Going in there, knowing they come out, expecting the Capitals to be on top. Instead, it's everything going the way of the Flyers for the most part, and with just 1 second left on this power play, and now it's over. It seems that they've basically been able to thwart the Washington extra man attack by taking some high sticking and roughing calls.
Ridley tries to steal, but Propp turns around and starts out. Up ahead to Keith Acton, taken away by Bob Rouse. To Kelly Miller out of center ice. Now Pocket kicks it back inside the Washington zone. Peters makes the play to the corner. Over to Michael Pavanka. Pavanka bounces it to center ice. 10 seconds left in the period. Kelly Miller into the corner. Jams up with Carton. It's held in the corner. Miller is there, and time runs out in the first period of play. Shots on goal during period 1. 7 for the Flyers, 7 for the Capitals. The Flyers hit on power play goals by Propp and Kerr, and Washington replies with a power play effort from Jeff Courtnall. 2-1 Philadelphia at the end of 1 period of play. More Stanley Cup playoff coverage coming your way right after we pause for these messages on the Home Team Sports Television Network.